Good morning, everyone. Thank you. I'm Audrey Gale Hall, y'all. I'm your membership coordinator here at Emerson Unitarian Universalist Church. And I'll say again, I've been forgetting this the past few weeks, but this is the Emerson in Houston, Texas. So if you're looking for any of our sister churches in Idaho or Pennsylvania, you've arrived at the wrong place. No, yeah, you're also at the right place, but it's not that place. Our beloved community of faith, reason, and affection welcomes all to grow in mind and spirit as together we build a better world. We are a church in many places. Some of us are here in the pews, but others are actually joining us on the YouTube, from home or wherever you find yourself in the world. Others will watch it on YouTube later in this week. If you're joining us for the first time this morning, thanks for taking a chance on us. Really glad to see your faces. And after the service, you're invited to stick around for snacks or coffee in the gathering place right outside, and then follow our lunch bunch to Beck's Prime if you like. And if you're here online, one of our lay leaders, Marilyn Rambo, is going to host a Zoom social time, and you'll find the link for that in the chat at the end of the service. We'd also love to make y'all visitor name tags for your next visit if you don't have one, and receive any feedback you want to offer about the service or your experience visiting our spiritual home. So in order to get that information, get your name tag made, feel free to talk to me after the service or fill out one of the yellow cards on the desk outside in the gathering place, which again is the lobby you walk through. You can also shoot me an email if you're here online at audrey@emersonhouston.org. Okay, here's my question of the pre-service spiel. What mode are we in, y'all? We're in church mode. We're also in worship mode. So please do turn your phone to where it won't make those loud noises. But I've been informed that you're actually super duper welcome to live tweet the service if you ever feel a desire. Children and Youth Summer School is creating book notes with Emersonian Michael Bloom today. And Katie's going to lead y'all down to room 108 for that after the offering. We're so excited today to welcome the Reverend Erin Walter to our pulpit. Erin is the executive director of the Texas UU Justice Ministry and also Minister of Joy and Justice at First UU in Austin. And before we hear from, And before we hear from Erin, we do have a prelude, y'all. So settle in for I Am a Being of Love.
We are beings of love. Good morning. I love that energy, and I feel just overjoyed to be with you this morning. My name is Reverend Erin Walter, and I've been with you before online, and so if you're online, hello again, and if you're here in person, My heart is just bursting to get to see you in this new way, in this beautiful place. I want to thank Reverend Michelle for the invitation to be here and for her collegiality. Thank you. I want to thank Katie and Audrey and Julia and the choir. Making worship together is such a gift. And I wish she could be here today, but Lisa Rocket from your congregation serves on the board of the Texas UU Justice Ministry, and I'm so grateful to her for her service. Our chalice lighting reading this morning. It comes from the book Blue Notes, one of my favorites from our denominational publisher, Skinner House Books. Blue Notes is an anthology of love, justice, and liberation from Black Lives of Unitarian Universalism. And this reading comes from our former president of the Unitarian Universalist Association, the Reverend Bill Sinkford. He writes, "Only begun. Spirit of life and love, dear God of all nations, there is so much work to do. We have only begun to imagine justice and mercy. Help us hold fast to our vision of what can be. May we see the hope in our history and find the courage and the voice to work for that constant rebirth of freedom and justice. That is our dream. Amen, and welcome again to Emerson."
Would you rise in body and or spirit with me? And if you are at home, sing along, dance along. We'll feel your spirit even on mute. Our opening hymn is one of my favorites, "Come and Go With Me," from the African American spiritual tradition, and a dear song in our justice ministry and our churches. You hearing me? All right. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. There'll be freedom. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. Yeah, there'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. Oh, there'll be justice in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. You know there'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land where I'm bound. And there'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land where I'm bound. So I hope you're going to go. Let's go. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. Amen. Welcome back to the choir.
We open with a story from Walking the Wind, a memoir of the movement from John Lewis. It is 500 some odd pages, but don't worry, like 20 pages are pictures. Anyway, in 2011, John Lewis, a lifelong civil rights activist, was honored by President Obama with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. It's one of my favorite pictures, y'all. And today's story is actually from when he was 4 years old. A story that set the tone for his whole life that happened when he was 4 years old. His name was John Robert. He was the youngest of many children. He grew up in Alabama on farmland with many sharecroppers about. Most of his family lived around them. So when he was done with his chores, he could go and play with all his cousins and siblings, and often there'd be 10 or 15 of them. Well, one day, they were playing in the field, and all of a sudden, thunderclouds, big black clouds filled the sky, the wind picked up, and here's something you should know about little John Robert. He was terrified of thunderstorms. Whenever one would happen, he would run to his mama and bury his head in her skirts. But Mama wasn't around that day. The only adult was Aunt Cineva. And as it turned out, she came out on her porch and she hollered, "All you kids, get in here right now." Well, her house was not large. It wasn't fancy. And you know, when you get 15 kids in a place, it seems a lot smaller. But part of what he remembers about that day is everyone in the house was silent. They were terrified by this storm that was coming upon them. The wind kept getting stronger and stronger. The walls of the house were not only shaking, but swaying. And then more terrifyingly still, a corner of the living room, the floor, started to come up from the foundation. It was like that storm wanted to take the house and pull it up into the sky. Aunt Geneva said, "Children, I need you to hold hands and walk to that corner." Children don't weigh much, but 15 children and an auntie holding hands, they were able to keep that house down. That corner of the living room stayed. They sat there holding hands. But then, the wind changed direction. Again, their aunt said, "Y'all, keep holding hands. Let's walk over to this corner." And they kept that part of the house too, from going up into the sky, into that storm that had come upon them so suddenly. This happened again and again, moving from corner to corner as the wind tried to take control, and they did not let it. John Lewis, telling of this story later, said, "More than half a century has passed since that day, and it struck me more than once over those many years that our society is not unlike the children in that house, rocked again and again by the winds of one storm or another, the walls around us seeming at times as if they might fly apart." It seemed that way in the 1960s, at the height of the civil rights movement, when America itself felt as if it might burst at the seams. So much tension, so many storms. But the people of conscience never left the house. They never ran away. They stayed. They came together and they did the best they could, clasping hands and moving toward the corner of the house that was the weakest. He goes on to say that this is his picture of America. The challenges have changed throughout the years, but still, the people move to where we are needed, holding hands and staying strong, being present in the moment and knowing that storms will come and go and come again. This is how we build the beloved community. Audrey?
Giving on Sundays out of what is our own can lead us into transformative action. As a community of faith, we collect an offering not for ourselves or our congregation, but to give to others as a collective gift, and as one way to live out our shared values and principles. So today, please give with a generous heart to support our August Share the Plate recipient, the Texas UU Justice Ministry. This is a statewide justice ministry that raises the voice of UU values in the public arena and seeks to have those values enacted into legislation and promulgated in public policy. Next Sunday, we'll have, today we're grateful to have Erin Walter at our pulpit. You can tell I'm using the script from last week. And so we want to make sure that this gift is really meaningful. And the remaining 25% of our offering is going to go to our ongoing commitment to Interfaith Ministries, Meals on Wheels, feeding Houston seniors. We have 4 ways to give. You can text the number on the screen, go to our webpage for online giving, mail a check to the church, or you can place your offering in one of our 2 plates on either side of the chancel or the box in the back.
Well, it looks like it might be a hard road, but I'm gonna walk it with you. And I know you might have a heavy load, but I can carry some too. I will lift you up when they push you down. I will raise my voice and stand my ground. Well, it looks like it might be a hard road, but I'm gonna walk it with you.
And it looks like it might be a long night, but I ain't going nowhere. And I know it's gonna be a hard fight, but I will stay right here. I will shine a light in the darkest hour. I will face the man in the tallest tower. Well, it looks like it might be a long night, but I ain't going nowhere. I will work, I will fight,
I will strive in the name of love. I will speak,
I will shout,
I will sing it to the skies above. Well, it looks like it might be a perilous climb, but I will follow your lead. And I know it might be a long time until the last one of us is freed. But I will hold on tight, stay by your side. I will be with you for this whole damn ride. Well, it looks like it might be a perilous climb, but I will follow your lead. Well, it looks like
Yeah, we could do that again. I would gladly do that song again. Oh. First of all, before we go into our time of meditation, Spirit of life and love, I give thanks for the gift of music together again. I hope we never take for granted again what it is to get to be together and sing together. It was a long night, a long road, like they sing in the song, to get to sing and snap and clap and dance together again. I give thanks. During this time of meditation and prayer, would you please find a comfortable place to be in your seats, wherever you may be. Place your feet flat on the ground, if you can, if you will, whatever will help you feel grounded. more connected to this earth that nourishes and sustains us all. Close your eyes if you would like, if it feels comfortable. If not, listen to your body. What does your body need? Listen to your spirit. It is an act of faith and liberation and rebellion simply to listen to what your body needs in this country, in this time, in this world. We pray for those who are sick, who feel estranged or alone. May there be healing, reunion, connection. May this place find its way to open its doors like loving arms for the wider community, so that those who are lonely, who are struggling, who are persecuted in the state of Texas and in this world, find a place to be loved exactly as they and as we are. May we be gifts to each other and to the world. I invite you into a time of silence where you listen to your God as you understand God, your truth as your body and your ancestors may whisper it to you, or the song that sings on your heart today. Knowing full well that sacred silence includes the sounds of children and our bodies and all that we may hear. As we continue in this morning together, this day, this week, this life, may you feel your ancestors and your truth and your songs right there with you. Amen, and blessed be.
Texas UU Justice Ministry founding executive director, Reverend Chuck Freeman, from January 2021, preaching for one of our sibling UU churches in Fort Worth, said this: "You look at what happened in the last election in Arizona and Georgia. This wasn't a flash in the pan. This was the result of a decade or more of grassroots organizing. And Texas is on this path if we keep doing our work. And we will. The future will be determined by those who are focused, centered, organized, and mobilized for the values they hold dear. That will be us. The politically impossible will become the politically inevitable."
If you know it, I hope you'll sing along at home. I'll feel your spirit even on mute. I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us. So lift me up. Holly Near. That is a Holly Near song. Look her up. She's amazing. She's amazing, and I love that song.
I'm here this morning as the executive director of your Texas Unitarian Universalist Justice Ministry, your state action network, to give thanks to those of you who have been a part of this organization in our first decade together, and to invite all of you to be part of what is next. We are celebrating 10 years. And I want to tell you, when we think about our ancestors, he's still here with us, Reverend Chuck Freeman, the founding minister of the Texas UU Justice Ministry, my dear friend and colleague who some of you may know. I got to see him last night. He lives in Conroe now, where he has retired. He lives near his sister. He sends his love to you, and I asked what he wanted me to tell you, and he said, keep the faith. So I'm here today to share with you a couple of stories from the Justice Ministry. There are so many from this first year that I have answered the call to take on this leadership role with your ministry, your Justice Action Network. But I have so many stories, but I'm going to tell you two of them. And we're going to talk about how you can be part of this incredible organization and group of people and what we're doing in the state of Texas that needs Unitarian Universalist values so deeply, so deeply. So I asked you to think in the meditation about your ancestors that come along, and that song from Holly Near says it would dishonor those who came before us if we were to give in to despair. And so I say to you today, I know that it could be understandable, and I have moments of despair living in Texas. I grew up in Austin, raised Unitarian Universalist. I Googled it. My grandparents' house is 1.8 miles from here. So I grew up in this area. I love it here. I love Texas. And so I will be fighting for Texas and UU values for all of my life. And it's not easy. So one of the things we have to do is come together and restore our spirit. So we know that what happens in Texas does not stay in Texas. Unfortunately, the work that happens here is often a blueprint. The destruction of our gender rights, our reproductive rights, rights for our trans kids and their families, all of these things is often very intentionally done with an eye on spreading that hate to the rest of the country and their laws. So I'm going to tell you two stories, even though my work is focused in Texas, where I leave the state. In the first one, back in the spring, I went with 20 young people who were going to get abortions from First Unitarian Universalist Church of Dallas to New Mexico. You may not know, or you may know, that some of the women of First Unitarian Church of Dallas were in the original case for abortion rights, Roe v. Wade. So our siblings in the Dallas Unitarian Church are part of that legacy. And they work hard there, as I know you do here, for our values in the public square. So I went to Dallas, and at 5 a.m., I met these 20 young women, Reverend Daniel Cantor, the senior minister there, and volunteers from the Religious Coalition for Reproductive Choice. And we flew. And I had not flown in over 2 years. And I am a fearful flyer, friends. So it was my job to be the chaplain and the source of strength for people making a brave, courageous decision for their lives. And so I want to tell you what I learned briefly. First of all, full faith. As Reverend Chuck said, keep the faith. Full faith and trust in the decision-making of Texas women. Full faith and trust. Everybody on that trip, they did not need me to tell them anything about what to do. They knew their lives. But I sat next to a young woman. I offered to sit next to those who might not have ever flown before. And some of them hadn't. And so I sat next to a young woman who had never flown before. And in the midst of this oppression of being forced to leave the state for what should be a basic medical procedure, some of these folks were traveling just to take a pill. It's absurd. It's horrific that the politics of our state would make them have to do that. But this young woman looked out the window as we took off. And she said, as we came through the clouds, "It's so beautiful. I would live in the clouds." And she took video and she said, "I'm sending it to my mom. We've never flown before." And it touched me so deeply that she would see the beauty in that moment, cherish it so much, and that it was about generations of experience and beauty and choice. And so I share that with you because in the hardest work that we do, and it's not easy, I'm sure of it, sometimes to be a Unitarian Universalist in Houston, Texas. In the hardest work that we do, there is beauty, and we are never alone. We are never alone. Our ancestors, our family, our community are there with us. It is so beautiful. I would live in the clouds. The second story that I want to tell you comes from June when I went to Washington, D.C. with people from all over the country from the Poor People's Campaign. The Unitarian Universalist Association is one of the sponsors of the Poor People's Campaign's Moral March on Washington. And we had about 6 hours of incredible speeches, songs, music. I just invite you to look up the Poor People's Campaign songbook. It is the greatest gift if you love justice and you love music, the Poor People's Campaign songbook. It was a beautiful day and a long day, and speakers who are poor and low-wage workers from all around the country told their stories. They talked about the need for public education, for healthcare access, all of the things that we are fighting for in the Texas Unitarian Universalist Justice Ministry. And then, when it was over, when the luminaries like Reverend Dr. Bishop William Barber and Cornel West and the leaders had left the stage, and it was ostensibly over, the volunteers, what they call the tri-chairs, the point people from all around the country, the poor folks and the low-wage workers who came to tell their stories in the hopes that this country would hear them and listen to some moral call to take care of our people, that poverty is a crime against the spirit. Not poor people, but that our systems create and encourage and uphold poverty for the gain of others. After all of that, the volunteers stayed on the stage with the band. And they gathered around and they were dancing. And they were singing a gospel song that goes, "There's an army rising up to break every chain." And that part alone was powerful, but when the group stayed together at the end, after those lines, "There's an army rising up to break every chain, break every chain, break every chain." After that part, they stayed and they sang like this. "I hear the chains falling," over and over again, like this. "I hear the chains falling." You can do it. "I hear the chains falling. I hear the chains falling." Let's do it one more time. Feel it. "I hear the chains falling." That is what it is going to take. A vision so committed, like Reverend Chuck talked about, organized, committed for the long haul, that we don't just say that there's an army rising up. We don't just say that we're going to break every chain. We actually hear it. I hear the chains falling. Whatever the chains of injustice in our world, whatever the chains on our heart, that we can hear. I can hear it, the sound of the metal falling off people's bodies, the sound of chains falling off our heart. We have to have, as Unitarian Universalists, as people of faith, that vision, that hearing, that feeling, that sense of what that liberation is going to be like as we bring it about together. That means songs, that means friends, that means community, whatever it is that you're passionate about. That means you can turn to someone in this room when you feel the despair that Holly Near acknowledges is possible in that song, I Am Willing, but that you can turn to someone and say, I'm on the edge of despair, or I'm there, I'm in despair. And that person can invite you back in, can say, remember, we are building the beloved community for generations to come, generations to come. I know this is true for a lot of reasons. When I was growing up UU, I did not know a single out gay, queer, trans, bi person, not one. Despite what we said in our churches, I didn't know anyone. My grandfather and his partner, they were not out to me when I was growing up, and they were the longest running relationship in our family at 30-something years. Pete and Marvin, I give thanks for your relationship and the role modeling that you did for love in my life. And more so, I give thanks that my daughter considered it a birthday present to herself, and I tell you this story with her permission, to come out to her family for her 12th birthday. That was how she wanted to celebrate her birthday. That's my UU kid. And so that's a generation of chains falling. And so I know it's hard. Some of you in this room have fought for decades for rights that it feels like are being stripped from us now. I see you. Please share your wisdom with those who have the fire right now to be out in the streets or doing whatever it is they're doing if you're tired, because it makes sense after decades of these fights that you'd be tired. But you have wisdom. You have so much to offer. Please share it. If you have funds, the other side is very well funded. And we have got to put our money where our mouths and our values and our feet are. Marching is wonderful, but like Reverend Chuck said, we've got to organize. And that takes people. It takes everything we've got. So I thank you, Emerson, for including your Texas UU Justice Ministry in your Share the Plate this month. Thank you so much. And I ask you to keep being as generous as you can. We are working on hiring more organizers. We are working with the Houston organizer who's doing Get Out the Vote work. We know that that is crucial. We meet every week on Zoom at 6 p.m. Central for a spiritual grounding group and at 7 p.m. Central for Action Hour. So you don't have to be out in the streets, and you don't have to have a lot of money either. If you can give 1 hour of your time each week and come to that Zoom Action Hour, every week we get together, UUs from all around the state. It is so empowering to see each other and so moving to hear how everybody's doing and check in. And then we sign the climate petition. We send a letter to the editor in support of trans kids and their families. We make a donation to the abortion rights fund that we want to support. You choose from a list of actions each week. If you don't want to do all of them, you don't have to. But you come and you be a part of a community and you make some change together and we amplify it. And we accept suggestions. So if every justice issue I just mentioned, you're sitting there thinking, that's all well and good, but she's not talking about blank. Come talk to me and email the Texas UU Justice Ministry about what you would like us to be taking action about. txuujm.org is our website. We are your state action network. I want to hear from you about the actions that you would like us to be taking, and we will take them with you. Something that I think is so important for the sustainability of this work is that we find our crew. I have a couple of crews that got me through those years of pandemic. That crew on that stage singing about the army rising up. The group of women who traveled for healthcare became a crew for a day, and they were chaplains to each other more than they even needed me. And so I want to share with you my favorite piece, and maybe you've heard me talk about this before, but it grows in meaning for me over and over again as I sit with it. This is from the Poverty and Justice edition of the Bible. If you perhaps didn't grow up with a lot of Bible like me, we didn't have much Bible at First UU Austin. I only remember one sermon titled How Jesus is Like the Lone Ranger from Easter. I've been meaning to reach out to my colleague and ask him I forget what it was really about, but it was an unforgettable title. But I didn't have much Bible. And then there's others of us who are here because the Bible has been used as a weapon against us. And so if that's you, my heart is with you as well. In the Justice Ministry, we are doing multiracial, interfaith organizing. And so one of the things that I love to do is look for places where I can learn more and help us heal some of those wounds so that we may work together for justice. And so I use the Poverty and Justice version of the Bible that the Poor People's Campaign uses, and what they do is they highlight sections in orange, I love a highlighter, that has to do with poverty and justice. It already came to me pre-highlight, is that how you say it? But this one is my favorite. It comes from Exodus, and the feminist scholar Carol Myers argues that Exodus may be the most important book of the Bible. It is to me. I invite you into this piece where the Israelites are on the long, hard road from slavery to the Promised Land, knowing that some of us, the ancestors on this journey with us, were enslaved. Some of us, our ancestors, enslaved people. Perhaps all of us feel on a long, hard journey coming out of this pandemic. Perhaps you are in a desert of your heart that you haven't even been able to talk about yet. This is the Song of Miriam from Exodus chapter 16, verses 19 through 21. After the Israelites had walked safely through on dry ground, Miriam, the sister of Aaron, was a prophet. So she took her tambourine and led the other women out to play their tambourines and to dance. Then she sang to them. Now, if you've seen me talk about this before in 2020 or 2021, what you probably heard me talk about was my love for the two-letter word so in this translation, because it's Miriam was a prophet, so she took her tambourine. Not Miriam was a prophet and we tolerated her tambourine. Not Miriam was a prophet by the way she had a tambourine. Miriam was a prophet, so she took her tambourine. And I say that to you because we as justice seekers and Unitarian Universalists are going to bring our joy. We are going to bring our music. We are going to bring our community. We are going to bring whatever tambourine you've got. Whatever, hey. Thank you. There it is. We had it out earlier. When they got it out, I thought, oh, I'm in the right place. Let it be a symbol for you of what brings you joy. But what I have grown to love about this, not just a female prophet, not just a musician, not just the singing and the dancing on the long, hard journey, but most importantly and easy to forget is that they're doing it together. She didn't get out her tambourine and dance alone. She got out her tambourine and they danced together. Who is your crew for hard times? Who is your crew for justice work? Who are you going to text and call when despair at the news starts to get you down and you need to not give up? Because there's no giving up. We're not going to do it. We're just not gonna. So who's on your crew? And then remember this, please. Not only did they pack tambourines in the dark of night, the loudest, noisiest, most unpredictable instrument, while they were trying to sneak away from their captors, the most delicate and precious and important thing that these women and these people had ever done. Not only were they brave enough, trusting enough in the need for joy to bring a tambourine, but they couldn't have been carrying much. The space in those packs in this story could have held bread, water, where it held a tambourine. So when you think about the world you want to see, when you are angry, as I am angry at the people who are fighting to take rights from our families, from us, remember to be generous. Remember, like Chuck Freeman said to me last night, to keep the faith. They went out with joy and determination, knowing that someday they would celebrate, that freedom was coming, that liberation was coming. So much so that they trusted for food and water to come to them, that they would be okay, that their needs would be provided for. So I invite you to be a part of the Texas UU Justice Ministry, to give generously of your time, your treasure, your energy for justice, and know that we're going to have fun and joy along the way, and we're going to do it together. Thank you so much for giving me a chance to talk about it and be about it with you today. One of the theme songs of my year so far with the Justice Ministry has been Wo Ya Ya. Wo Ya Ya is in our teal hymnal. I sing it to my dog as we walk in Bastrop, and I try to just stay in the spirit of knowing that we are on this road. It comes from a Ghanaian band, OCBC. And I just invite you to rise in body and spirit. And if this song is new to you, let it fill your heart. If it's not new to you, really give it your all. Or even if it is new to you, give it your all, right? Let's just give it our all. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Wo ya ya, wo ya ya, wo ya ya. speaking of getting there, I neglected to invite you, this is very important, we will be getting there to the Texas Capitol coming this winter. And so I invite you to envision yourself in Austin with us. We will let you know there will be a save the date coming your way, but we will gather as UUs. We will sing that song. We will sing Come and Go With Me. We will sing It Looks Like It's Gonna Be a Hard Road, but I'm gonna walk it with you. We will sing those songs together in the rotunda. We will gather from all around Texas. And so I want you to put that on your mental calendar, and then I'll get you the date for your real calendar pretty soon. Thank you. Okay. For our benediction. When I saw you online probably a year ago, I probably invited you to put your hands out and imagine touching the Brady Bunch squares next to you, the Hollywood squares in your Zoom. If you're home in Zoom, I still invite you to do that. If you're here, if the person next to you is willing, all things by consent, you might hold a hand, or you might reach out a hand as a gesture of connection, or you might put your hand on your heart to think about your ancestors. Let's take a breath together. Spirit of life and love, thank you for this day. Thank you for the chance to find our crew in this life of justice and love, of joy and community. Thank you for Emerson. Thank you for everyone here, for being part of this greater project of liberation. God, it feels good to know we are not alone. Where our hearts are aching for reasons we haven't even named yet, God, please be with us. Surround us in love. Where we have joy, may we share it, amplify it, dance, sing, even when they're not expecting it. With deepest gratitude for everyone in this room, for everyone out there, for the world, we are bending toward justice. Amen.
And y'all, before I get to my announcements, we have an announcement from the search committee.
Good morning, and thank you to Reverend Erin. I'm Bill Hammonds, a member of the Ministerial Search Committee. We have some other members of the search committee here today. I'd like to ask them to come up. Here they are, they're beautiful. Last weekend, the Reverend Jamie Yandel, a member of the UUA's Congregational Life staff, led us in a retreat to help us deepen our understanding of the ministerial search process. Afterward, we agreed on our roles and responsibilities, and we chose Ken McLeod and Zena Taylor to be our co-chairs. All of us are excited about the work that we have ahead of us. We're actively engaged in the work of finding the best minister for Emerson Church. In the coming weeks, members of the congregation will have 2 opportunities to join us in the process. First up, a congregational survey. This is your chance to share your beliefs and opinions about our congregation to help us understand better what we need from our future minister. The survey results will inform potential ministers about who we are and what we are looking for in a minister. It's essential that we get everyone's input. And then we'll be organizing cottage meetings and focus groups. These small group gatherings will help clarify and supplement the information gleaned from the survey. Each of you will have the opportunity to participate in one of these small group sessions. Our goal is to find the best ministerial candidate for Emerson Church, but we can't do it in a vacuum. We need your input and your insights. Look for us after the service in the courtyard, weather permitting, and you'll recognize us by our orange name tags. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, committee. And thanks again to Erin for visiting us. We appreciate it so much. Y'all, after service today, here's a reminder for those online that you can find the link to click through to social time in the YouTube comments. And those of us here in person, you're super duper welcome to stay for more caffeine and snacks if you need them. And also, in about 15 minutes, folks are going to start heading to Beck's Prime for the Lunch Bunch gathering. And that's going to be on the corner of, is it Augusta and Fountain View? It's Augusta and Westheimer, y'all. Close, but no cigar. Okay, and now for our postlude.
Oh, well, I learned as a child there's two ways to see the world as it is and the way it could be. Some people say that's just not my problem. Some people do what must be done. Now they see the hole in the fabric that must be sewn. They see the way blockaded and then roll back the stone. They see the day beyond the horizon, and they do what must be done. Yes, some people do what must be done. Well, they do what must be done. They see the day beyond the horizon, and they do what must be done. Now I've seen the toll taken, the tears that were shed. I've seen the journey started and the ripples spread. So people say that's just not my problem. Some people do what must be done. Now they see the hole in the fabric that must be sewn. They see the wave blockaded and they roll back the stone. They see the day beyond the horizon, and they do what must be done. Yes, some people do what must be done. Well, they do what must be done. They see the day beyond the horizon, and they do what must be done. Yes, some people do what must be done. Well, they do what must be done. They see the day beyond the horizon, and they do what must be done. They see the day beyond the horizon, and they do what must be done. They see the day beyond the horizon, and they do what must